Ferrari 812 GTS. This thing is insane and it sounds even better. But check this out. I was at Dominic's walking around and I saw it and I was like, oh my gosh, look at the swirls everywhere in this paint. Right there. Oh my gosh. V12 underneath this beautiful hood, but you gotta look past it. Look at the swirls. So this is really about washing and wiping improperly. What happens to the paint when you do that? So we're gonna go over a few tips and tricks today to avoid this in the future. But for now, we gotta bring her inside, get her cleaned up, and then go for a ride. Big thank you to Squarespace for supporting our channel and helping our fellow content creators around the world keep doing what we love to do. More on this later. This is a 2022 Ferrari 812 GTS in Blue America with Cuoio Toscano leather that comes with a front mid-engine 6.5 liter V12 producing 789 horse, 530 foot-pounds of torque. And yeah, it redlines at a glorious 9,000 RPM. This is the first series production front-engine V12 Ferrari Spider since the 365 GTB4 Daytona Spider. We all love that one. 0 to 60, 2.8 seconds, quarter mile, 10.5 seconds, and a top speed of 211 miles an hour. Absolutely bonkers. The Brembos and carbon ceramics are the same ones found on the LaFerrari, as well as the L-shaped flaps on the corner of the windshield designed to remove the turbulence from inside the cabin when the top is down, which, by the way, only takes about 14 seconds to go from roof to sky, and it will operate at up to 30 miles an hour. It's pretty cool. This one, all specced out, is well over $500,000, but she does need some love. Step number one is to lift the car, and obviously, like most Ferraris, it's a little more complicated than a normal vehicle. This one, of course, is a front mid-engine. If you look at it from the side, where the pucks go underneath to lift, it's really crazy. It's very far back because the engine's right around here. So if you look at it, it looks like it's gonna tip forward, but it's not gonna do that. We looked it up, take an actual hockey puck, put it on top of the big stands here, run it underneath, and we should be good to go. As a daily driver, it's clear the paint needs more lubrication during the wiping process before it goes out for a drive. You can see swirls and scratches. They're pretty much everywhere on the paint. Now, I was told that the 812 was maintained with a car duster, which doesn't provide enough lubrication and would be equivalent to wiping your paint, let's call it like a dirty rag, or maybe a rag that fell on the ground and you picked it up and wiped it again. We would never do that. Same sort of concept with these car dusters. Next, I filled the foam cannon with foam soap and then attached it to the power washer. Okay, now that we have the soap in the foam gun, one of the quick safeties, or what I call an insurance package or margin of safety, is to pull the trigger without facing the car. Every once in a while, 1 out of 1,000, this thing will shoot out because you didn't latch this the right way. So I turn it away from the car, pull it, and go like this. Okay, we're good to go. Now I can point it. Occasionally, I've done it like once in a blue moon, this will pop off just because you get lazy and don't tighten it up. So do that before you shoot it at a $600,000 Ferrari. That's a good tip. With the paint soaking, I started the wheel cleaning process with Brute wheel soap and a wheel brush. In the tight spots, I used a mini Woolly as well. When washing your paint, avoid using traditional wash mitts or broom brushes and stick to fresh, clean, thick microfiber towels that are only used once and then washed after each cleaning session. To dry the paint, again, I'm using lubrication. This is the key to having perfect paint, even after years of washing weekly. Now, with this in mind, I'm drying with a damp microfiber towel and hydrate drying lubrication along with the Master Blaster, just to blow out the tight spots at the same time to speed up the drying process. By the way, if you're planning on getting a Master Blaster in the future, the Master Blaster actually saw us using it in a couple episodes, and they said, hey, hook up your viewers with a discount code of 10%. Use the word ammo at checkout. It'll save you a bunch of dough. It's pretty cool. My trick for applying coatings to the wheels is to leave a thick layer on the inner barrel and don't wipe it off or buff it off. It's going to be really strong there. However, on the outer spokes, I do buff it off so that it has a higher gloss, more shine on the outside than the inside, but I want that extra protection because I can't always reach in there and clean the back of the wheel or take the wheel off as often as I want, so I put a thicker coat there. I repeated the same process as well on the calipers. On the interior, you get a sense that he really does drive this daily, which of course makes me happy, but there are body oil stains, there's like a weird mark on the door, and just daily grime from getting in and out of the car. So we did need to do a cleanup. This is kind of funny, like, you know how many times I've done Ferraris and like, yeah, we're gonna give it a nice cleanup, like whatever, it's gonna be fine, it's not a big deal. Like, I'm legitimately doing a clean here. Like, this thing's dirty.
Awesome.
Now take a look at the seats. At first glance, they sort of look okay, not terrible, right? But the eye is tricking itself thinking that the glossy or the shiny finish is normal. It's not. Look at it after it's cleaned and dry. The left side has a sheen to it, which is the body oils, the getting in and out, that kind of thing. The right side has a matte finish to it, a very big difference in person. This is huge when you're cleaning a car, especially as a professional detailer. This is what you're going for, the right side. You want an original matte finish. I really want the 2016. I think that'd be such a fun car. You can move all of this, right? You can do all, I like that. The floor mats got shag fabric cleaned, scrubbed with a red bristle brush, then steam vac to keep it from getting over soaked. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform on which to create your very own website. Create a community on your Squarespace website with a fully integrated commenting system that supports threaded comments, replies, and even likes. Use their powerful blogging tools to categorize, share, and schedule your posts too. Display posts from your social profiles on your website and automatically push website content to your favorite social media channels so your friends can like and share it too, like this one here. Connect with your audience and generate revenue through gated members-only content, manage your members, send email communications, and leverage audience insights all in one easy-to-use platform. You can extend Squarespace's already powerful e-commerce capabilities with Squarespace extensions. These are third-party tools that can help manage inventory, promote products, streamline bookkeeping, and reconcile and even file sales tax while shipping items across the globe. Go to squarespace.com for your free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use promo code squarespace.com/ammonyc to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Now, back to the 812. Next, I started the paint correction, and this was just straight up bad. I have no other way to explain it. I can't exactly blame all of it on the car duster issue. There are just factory installed imperfections. There's sanding marks. We see that in Porsche as well, where there's a dust nib. They sand it out, but they don't back all of it out, and you can still see the sanding marks, which is insane to me at $500,000 or any price for that matter. And then poor finish polishing. What that is they get it up to about 90%, and they go, okay, next, and they just keep moving and moving. They're trying to move metal, as they call it, move down the line, and they don't finish the rest of it. It's a $500,000 car. How could you not finish that? So to me, it's insane that it comes out this way. But the long streaks, that's all duster. That's something that can be avoided because you're installing it. It's what we call love marks. You want to love the car, then use lubrication. Use a spray wax or a spray detailer. Use a clean microfiber towel, dust it down, then go for the drive. Don't use the duster. For the actual execution of the paint correction, I'm using a straight cut wool pad with exfoliate polish instead of the waffle foam pad because the paint is much harder or denser than normal or typical Ferrari paint usually is. I can only imagine what the paint would look like if it was actually soft. So in this case, because it's hard, thankfully there's not as many swirls as there would have been, and I'm using a wool pad to kind of cut the pad instead of a foam pad, so keep that in mind. All right, guys, check this out. Now, this being a hardtop convertible, the top comes down, convertible top comes up, and it looks just like a coupe. Really, really cool. The downside is you can see this cap right here. When this goes up to put the convertible down, it folds underneath, and it seems to be getting scratched extra compared to the rest of the paint. So this is incredibly thin, and it's wrapped around leather. So we're gonna have to tape it off, polish it, have it look fantastic, then put clear bra on it so that when it goes inside and whatever's going on in there, something is getting scratched. Hopefully it'll protect it a little bit more so that when it is in the convertible mode right now, you're not seeing these awful scratches. So we gotta get this done now. After a very long day of polishing, the paint looked absolutely perfect, but I also decided because it's a daily driver, it's probably a good idea just to clear bra the entire car just to protect it from future paint broomings. If you notice, this hood is ginormous, so much so that a normal 60-inch clear bra doesn't cover the entire hood with one piece. The front and the back actually stick out. That would require two pieces, meaning a cut and then adding another piece. Total hot mess. We're not going to do that. It would look like garbage. So instead, I had to get a massive 72-inch size, usually reserved for Koenigseggs and Paganis. Hey guys, real quick, I know a lot of you have asked me about the detail video game and if you can actually play it on your phone. I've been working on it for like 2 years and it's finally available on the phone. You can clean dirty cars just like you could before, sell them, upgrade your tools and shop, and you can even detail, in my ammo studio, we had to like design everything so it looks the same. It was really cool. I put a link in the description, check it out. This is kind of the preview. Let me know what you think. Any suggestions or upgrades to make it better, I would be very grateful, but I know a lot of you have asked about it, and this has just been a pet project of mine forever. I think it's super cool, but please, any feedback is great. Thanks so much. All right, so the reason we're ISO wiping is we're just getting off any oils or anything that's on top of the paint, or in this case, clear bra, so that the coating can stick properly. If it doesn't do that, the coating is not gonna stick. When it doesn't stick, it actually hardens on top instead of penetrating into the actual material where there's clear bra or paint. And you'll see it'll form sort of a white, hazy cover on top of it. And that makes sense because it couldn't penetrate, it couldn't stick and form to the surface. So it'll actually just form up here. And then there's a gap in between. Again, very microscopic, but there's a gap of air in between. And that's why you see it turn hazy and white. Now, if you have too much on top of it, that's just called a high spot, but that's not what we're talking about right now. High spots are just having too much product and not wiping it off properly. This one here is if you don't prep it right, it'll cause that issue, which is easily solved. You can just re-wipe it on there. You can polish it off real quick. But just like anybody else in terms of the body shop world, it's about the prep. It's really not about the paint. In this case, it's about the prep, not about the coating. So make sure that you have a good ISO wipe. It's a 50-50 water to 70% isopropyl alcohol. That'll wipe it down really well. It'll be good to go. When applying Pro 2 on a clear bra, work in smaller areas and buff it off after a few seconds or immediately after the coating rainbows. Likewise, have a bunch of towels on hand to make your life easy, and then just work your way around the car. Don't forget the door jambs. The bottom line is when you're working on clear bra and putting a coating on top of it, you do have to work a little bit faster than you would on paint, but just wait for it to rainbow, take it off immediately, and you're good to go. With the coating now curing, I vacuumed up a bit, then applied mousse to the clean leather. Now, once applied, you got to give it some time to penetrate for a few minutes, then buff it clean to return it to that original matte finish. We don't want to have it shiny again. We just cleaned all that shiny oil off. You don't want to add more oil. But in the process, it is going to look shiny. That's totally normal. It's filling up those pores, making everything supple. Then go back in, buff it off, let it dry, and it'll actually go back to the original matte finish. But in this case, it'll have some UV protection, a little more suppleness, so it could last a whole lot longer. This is something that I think we don't do enough, especially on leather interiors. When he met her, she was a normal person. She wasn't royalty. And so everybody could relate to her. Afterwards, I cleaned all the windows, applied mud dressing to the tires and engine cover. Now, typically I don't add mud to the engine covers, but in this case, because it was kind of dull and just didn't have that deep, rich texture I was looking for, you can apply mud to it, let it sit for a second, and then wipe it down so it's not shiny, it's not sticky, it doesn't grab anything. It really helps the contrast against other colors. In this case, the engine's red, so if you have a black engine cover and a red engine, it just looks really, really rich. When we were all done, I pulled it out in the sun and it looked absolutely amazing. No swirls, no scratches, nothing. The car looks like it's moving when it's standing still. Only thing left to do, V12, naturally aspirated, sounds like an animal. I had to go for a drive. So this is the Ferrari A12 GTS, 780 horsepower, and holy cow, does this thing sound amazing. Listen. Oh! Woo! That's a workout. That is addicting. That is trouble, because you're gonna get. One of my favorite parts about it, besides the sound, the fact that it's comfortable, looks fantastic, handles great, is they make this really cool button right here. I know this sounds a little weird. There's a button here that once I push it, because we're about to go on a bumpy road, I push it and it says bumpy road. Now I feel nice and cushy, right? Not too bad. I think that's really, really smart. Take the button off, you can feel it stiffen up. Drop a gear, and we're back in play mode. In terms of this entire car, that's a wacky thing to say, but for someone like me, if I was driving this car every single day and going in and out of these little tight turns, and I want to go to work in it, there's never going to be a perfect road, especially in the East Coast. That button is worth every penny. Here's a sneak peek of an episode coming soon. Be sure to subscribe to find out when it airs. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and see you soon.
Ready?
This is insane. This is a legit.
Go the brakes.
All right, off the brake. Legit barn find.
Okay, stop right there for now.
On a Ford GT. That's actual spider webs.
Wow, look inside.